So now let's talk about how we can display pictures of maps with various zoom levels for a computer. So tiled display is usually used to provide map background, for instance in Google Maps, Bing Maps, OpenStreetMap, MapQuest, and so on. It is based on the zoom level you want to look at and an image decomposition into tiles, which are little squares that put together gives you the complete image of what you are looking at your current location and your current zoom level. So in the first zoom you only have one image for the whole Earth, and each subsequent zoom will multiply the number of images by 4. So you multiply by 2 in each direction. And then you use some calculation to get the proper tiles numbers that you want to display on your computer. So here is an example with the conventions of OpenStreetMap. So on zoom 0, you have one tile whose coordinates are 0 for the zoom, 0 for x, and 0 for y. Then if you go to zoom equal 1, all of the coordinates start with 1 because it's the zoom level. And then you have 0, 0 here for x, y, 1, 0 for xy, 0, 1 for xy, and 1, 1 for xy. Then let's zoom this part of the map to go to 2. We have zoom 2 here as the first coordinate, and we have 0, 2 because 0, 0 and 0, 1 are these parts here of the first tile, and we have 2, 0, 3, and here we have 2, 1, 2, which is the third on the second column on zoom 2, and 2, 1, 3 for the last part of this tile decomposed into zoom 2 tiles, and so on. You put this one will be 4 tiles in zoom 3, and so on, and up until zoom 19, where there are several hundred billions tiles for the whole Earth. So how do we compute those values? Let's talk about the OpenStreetMap implementation because it is open. You can deploy your own OpenStreetMap mirror with all of the data, and we know how it works, while for Bing or Google Maps we don't know. So each tile in OpenStreetMap is a 256 pixels wide square PNG file, and each zoom level will be a root directory in the web server file structure. So all URL parameters are like zoom, so it's the first level of directory, then x for all, 1x for each column for a given zoom, and y.png for the corresponding zoom xy tile in that you want to request. So x is based on the ratio between the longitude range and the current longitude projected to the number of tiles. We'll see a bit more precisely what it means. And y is based on the ratio between the latitude range and the current latitude, which is then projected to the number of tiles. So you can try, for instance, this URL, which will give you something in the Technome in Belfort near UTBM. So how do we compute that? You can find the full explanation on the OpenStreetMap wiki in the Sleepy Map tile names section. So first you project into Mercator projection and get your x and y in radians. Then you transform it to range from 0 to 1 with the origin in the top left corner. So remember the northwest corner is the 0, and you go for x from left to right and for y from top to bottom. So you convert it that way. You have x is 1 plus x on pi divided by 2, and y is 1 minus y on pi divided by 2. Then you compute the number of tiles in the number of tiles for a side of your full squared map. And to get the tile coordinate, you take the floor of n multiplied by x from this formula, and the y coordinate is is the floor of n multiplied by y in this projection.